Hey yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, I was thinking about doing something even a little bit more different to what I did last video. If you haven't watched the video, basically, it was just me and my group of friends reacting to Spider-Man Lotus, and we kind of just gave our thoughts about the film throughout it, and just we didn't really like it. Yeah, no. Yeah, it didn't seem like a lot of people agreed with that sentiment, at least in my comment section. I don't know how, but these guys, I guess they like the film for some reason. But I just want to come in here and just say why this movie just trash and just not good. The first comment that I'm seeing is, I don't know, man. Seems like a great movie, and y'all can't really connect with anything besides action. I don't know about you, but when I was watching the marketing of this film, the marketing seemed like it was more geared towards something that had to do with more action, especially the fact how they were promoting this VFX and all this and that. And it really, like, if they really wanted to do this grounded story, they should have just made a short film instead of a 2 hour film that occasionally had some action scenes that really didn't even help the narrative. Like, first off, the beginning scene of the film with him fighting Shocker had nothing to do with what really the story was. And it kind of felt like a bait almost, because you're getting this beginning scene and you're thinking that, oh shit, it's going to set the tone of the film, right? But after that, you don't really get any more action out of it. And the most that you get after that Shocker scene is just a bunch of flashback scenes. So it kind of just didn't really help the case at all. But yeah, that's kind of my reasoning why I expected action. But I mean, in terms of the argument of connecting only with action, the thing is that we see Spider-Man, we see his feelings being put into most of these actions. The flashbacks in and of itself just made everything feel incohesive, made everything very jumbly and rambly, and overall just didn't really make the sentiment of Peter Parker and his feelings any more meaningful than it really was. Also, the fact that the acting wasn't very good, having this movie a 2 hour film with almost minimal action kind of just takes away more from the story than you would think. Since the acting is basically just one step above porn level acting, most of the film just didn't even feel like I connected with the characters at all. And they really just drowned out most of the scenes with just music half the time. I feel like they're overusing music so hard. Holy shit.
Dude, the acting is ass, that's why.
So, I mean, if they're going to have to drown out the acting that way, I mean, it just takes away from everything in whole. That's really the kind of limitation that you're going against. So that's why it's just kind of hard to go for something that's pure acting.
Flash.
Like, yeah, I don't even know what that is. Moving on to the second comment, we have people really need to learn to not have unnecessary expectations. I feel like it's happening too much nowadays with superhero movies. Just learn to be content with what you have. I mean, if you're really going into movies just with that sort of mindset, you're not going to be happy with a lot of movies you see. Also, unnecessary expectations is kind of just the least of it, to be fair. I mean, it's not even about expectations at this point. It's just the movie was just bad. I don't know what to tell you. It was just talking dialogue simulator. If I really wanted to see some top tier acting, I'd be watching another film and not Spider-Man Lotus. The acting just wasn't that good for scenes to be that long. And to be fair, if this was only like a maybe like a 40-minute short film, then sure, yeah, I can see an argument being made of like unnecessary expectations. The film was just way too drawn out to the point where a lot of scenes you really could have just stepped out and really been caught up all ahead coming back 5 minutes later. In the film reaction we had last video, there was literally cuts that I cut out just because no one was talking, people were stepping out, people were literally playing mobile games during the fucking movie. I mean, it just wasn't entertaining at all.
I have Silver Surfer in my Series 3 shop. Should I give it to
So almost.
Just,
I mean, it's not really about unnecessary expectations. It's just that fact that with a 2 hour film that's 90% dialogue, with the acting being just complete trash, and also with the story being uncohesive as hell, I mean, it's just not about expectations at this point. It's just a bad movie. Being content with what you have is just a shit argument, to be fair. Criticisms just come with these type of films, and this is just another one of those films that deserves it. I don't know what to tell you. All right, the next comment. We actually get to feel the real emotions of Peter Parker way better than that of the current MCU Spider-Man films. We get to feel him go through the dilemma, the pain, the self-doubt. This is the element that made Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man awesome to this day. And for a fan film, I think they did pretty great. And that if they had a Disney budget, they surpassed the MCU.
You serious?
First off, that's crazy. Second off, I don't think I would want, a bunch of racists and pedos like having that kind of money though. I don't know what the fuck they would do with that after, but hey, I mean, if that's how you think, bro, that's how you think. But yeah, it seems like he's talking more about the writing than anything else. Directing in the film was so fucking mediocre. Like it felt like a bunch of close-up shots, and you can make the argument that yeah, it was a short film, so they didn't really have a lot of options to record, like say I don't know, dolly shots, wide angle shots, shit like that. But I mean, There were a lot of times where it felt so uniform. It literally felt like a porn film that I was watching. It was very stationary. There was very little fluidity when it came in part to how the film was shot, and it just kind of ruined things. But yeah, surpassing the MCU is insane. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I agree that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man had a lot of emotion, and especially with Spider-Man 2, like that, you can feel a lot of things that came from that character. But I feel like in big part of that, first off, was the acting was way better. Second off, there was already pre-established characters from the first Spider-Man film. This film only establishes characters through flashbacks and dream sequences, so it just didn't really help when it came to connecting with these characters. And I feel like even if they had the same budget, if we're talking purely off writing itself, the pacing, the storytelling was just not there. So it, honestly, they would not have fucking surpassed the MCU and shit, bro. Let's be honest. For a fan film, it's good. It isn't from a top of the line production. It focuses more on Peter grieving, which is respectable. I mean, isn't that what fan films are? They're basically like people who don't have huge productions and shit. He basically just described what the definition of a fan film is. But second part, he says it focuses more on Peter grieving, which is respectable. I mean, there's movies that have done that before, and they've done it way better. So I mean, I don't know. I don't know what he's getting at here. This fan film focused more Peter than Spider-Man, which is rare, and I love it. But I saw people say they didn't like it because it barely had any action. Gotta love MCU influence on people sometimes. Bro, it's not MCU influence. Call it Peter Parker Lotus. Don't call it Spider-Man Lotus. If we're only getting Spider-Man in 3 VFX shots and the rest are flashbacks, then it's not a Spider-Man movie. It's just Spider-Man being in a movie than it is a Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man and Peter Parker are one and the same, and the fact that they've only showed the Peter Parker side of things, you're telling me throughout this whole entire movie, they could have shown scenes of like Spider-Man, like say he was about to fight crime or some shit, and then he like, gives up and shit, and then he's like, yo, I can't stop this guy. I can't help myself. And he's like having like visions of Gwen and shit while trying to like help some old lady getting robbed down the street. And a scene like that would have connected Spider-Man and Peter Parker a lot more, especially in the fact of how Peter Parker and Spider-Man are one of the same, and how Peter Parker's feelings affect how his job as Spider-Man goes out. But the only fucking reference we got to this is just him telling the kids that he's not a hero or some shit, and then takes some like dirty old woman to tell him that he's Spider-Man. Bro, like, don't tell me this is like some MCU influence shit, because Spider-Man and Peter Parker are one of the same. If you're not gonna show one, then don't show the other. That's just how it is. If you want to do a Peter Parker film, don't make it fucking 2 hours. Don't waste my time with this hour and 30 worth of dialogue that shows Spider-Man for 3 seconds in total. The movie was pretty good to me. I like that it was focused more on Peter Parker than Spider-Man. For a fan film, it looked great. I mean, you guys already know my thoughts on this one, but this has 30 likes for some reason. But there was a reply that said, me too, I enjoy Spider-Man Lotus movie a lot. I ignored all this controversy racist stuff. The controversy racist stuff aside, the movie was still ass. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, bro. It just wasn't there. There's fan films that are way better than this. If this is the first fan film you've been introduced, and even if it's a Spider-Man fan film, I've already seen one that's fucking way better than this shit. If you can, check out Green Goblin's Last Stand, the Spider-Man fan film. It's way better than this shit. If you guys want, I'll talk about it in another video, but for sure, the movie's just way better, and it has $500 budget. It's 1 hour long runtime. Acting could be better, but overall, it's a pretty good movie, especially compared to this dog shit. I'm black and I'm not as pressed with the controversy as these guys are. I think the movie was amazing. It was focused around Peter and his feelings, not just Spider-Man and action. Hopefully, people will give the guy that played Spider-Man / Peter another chance. There are actors that did far worse. Cough, cough. Ezra Miller. 10 out of 10. Sorry to break it to you, man, but Ezra Miller is just a way better actor than fucking I don't even know who the fuck acted as Peter Parker or Spider-Man, whatever. And also 10 out of 10 is crazy, bro. The dick writing is insane, bro. I promise you the meat is not that juicy, but if you really like this film that much, man, hey, kudos on you, bro. Yeah, I wish I had the ability to like shitty movies like that, because I'd be loving life a lot more. Guys, let's have a drinking game, and I bet you would become shit drunk due to the fact that these guys use he said the N-word joke so many times. I mean, about this, I mean, he's not fucking wrong. I mean, he's not wrong. That was like the only joke that we made throughout the movie.
Peter, say the N-word, Peter. You and I are not so different, Peter. You said the N-word, I said the N-word.
But I mean, like, what else could we fucking talk about? The movie was ass. But yeah, if you guys do want to go back to the video, try that drinking game if you're of age, of course, and fucking yeah, do it. Just see how far you get, bro. That's basically all the comments I got throughout the video. If you guys wanted the like to dislike ratio, it's 93 likes to 2 dislikes. Yeah, I like my own videos, man. Shut the fuck up. And I still stand by the fact that Peter Parker Lotus is a 3 out of 10 and would never watch again. But if you guys want me to discuss another fan film that I think is way better than this, and if you guys want me to talk about it, let me know down in the comments or just leave a like and I'll see what I can do. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, have a good one.